Okay, in this video I'm going to teach you how to draw any type of eye. This is many different eyes from many different types of creatures and then some humanoid and not. I'm going to teach you a very easy lesson, and there's 3 ways to kind of go about it. So let's go over those 3 ways and, we can go through it. Before that, don't forget, subscribe, say hello to me in the comment section, and I'll see you in the lesson right now. So let's get started. So let's take a look at different kinds of eyes that are going on with different creations that you kind of make. This one is a little bit more humanoid. This one is incredibly humanoid, but a little bit squid-like. And this is, these are kind of pushed in. And so there's 3 ways I kind of tend to go on drawing eyes. Okay, so let's kind of go over them over here. So let me zoom in just a little bit, really fast. So the 3 ways I tend to think about drawing eyeballs is I tend to think about drawing eyeballs either chopping into it. Well, hold on, let me go the basic way first. The very basic way first is to start with a circle, right? Obviously, because the eyeball, and no matter what, vertebrate or animal, is always a ball shape inside. It's almost always shoved in an eye socket. So I tend to start with the eyeball, which looks a lot like a, something you're playing pool with, right? The pool ball. And from that point, I tend to draw the skin layered around it. I start with my circle, right? As you can tell, I start with my circle, and then from that point, I, start curving the skin around it, around the outside. Like, how would that be, right? With the eyelid is essentially curved over the surface of it. For this, you kind of have to, you have to think about the eye in 3 dimensions as a sphere, right? Because when you think of it as a sphere, this stuff is going to make more sense. What is the eyelid covering up, right? The eyelid probably has a little bit of a shadow coming down from the eyelid, down hitting the sclera, which is usually the white of the eye, depending on, what you're drawing. And then pulling down over here, you have the under bag of the eye, however baggy you want to make that or not. And then you probably have some crow's feet. In the eye, right, we're going to start with our just regular iris highlight right there. And then you're going to draw the pupil, which is the center dark point of the eye. And that is one way to start an eye. And like I said, think about the ball shape, which the pros and cons of it are, the pros are when you start with that ball shape, you really think of it in 3D. Like, you really think about it in its 3rd dimension. And it's very, very good for you to do that, right? That's the good part. The bad part is any alterations might be kind of hard if you're using a pen like I am. Changing it around might be a bit of a, getting a squinty or a different shape would be a little harder. Let's go on to the second way I do the eye. The second way would be, I think of it as a block structure. So for example, over here, let's go down here. Over here in this area, I tend to think about it as a, I think about it in its geometric forms, right? It's almost like I'm drawing like a Lego eye, pretty much. Right? I'm thinking about it literally as a block shape, right? And how those shapes are going to go. And then maybe I can draw, obviously the center is not going to be block shape. It's going to be the iris and the pupil there, iris. Highlight, maybe over here, line up there. Down over here. Line over here. And we're finding the eyelids in this choppy motion, right? And of course, obviously, when you have to do the ball, what is it called? The tear duct, you can put the circle there. And this choppy motion, the pros about it is if you're drawing, depending on the eye type you're drawing, it can be very, very useful for expression, right? Like the squintiness of the eye and then some. It also, I like it the way you do this because you build it up section by section. So since you're building it up section by section, you get to take your time and look back, and like over here, the same thing. You get to take your time, understand kind of what you're putting down, and as you're doing it, you're gradually building it up, right? So the gradual buildup, I think, can be very useful, and that's another way I tend to draw an eye. Normally, it depends on the type of eye, right? If I want the person to have like more squared eyes, you know, the expression or squared eye type, I would totally use this. So it's up to you. You have to like figure out which way to start. There's another way, okay? Let's do the third way. And this way is a little goofier, and this is the way I draw a lot of them as well. So the third way to do it would be you kind of go over here and essentially just drawing it, how do you say, willy-nilly, you know? You're kind of just wiggling it in there for the most part, like scratching it in. That's another way I've drawn the eye. You're just kind of like, it's almost like you're scribbling it in there, right? To kind of find the, you know, what it is that you want to do. I'm scribbling it in. You could almost call it ghosting it in a way. The reason I showed this one last, and I actually don't recommend you kind of do this one, is because it's hard and it's advanced. I kind of already, you have to kind of know the framework of what you're doing already in order for this to not look like straight up 100% scribbled, right? Because otherwise, it's very possible that'll just look like straight scribble, like straight up. So you have to, you know, take care, and you have to know what you're doing in order for to make this even look like an eye. Otherwise, it might just look like a ball of scribble at some point. So just kind of, you know, like I said right here, and I'm just slowly building it up, building it up, building it up, slowly, right there, just building it up. Let's get something more affirmative right here, right? Let's put the strong dot of the eye right there, the ball of the eye. There you go. Going over here. There you go. Right there, see? And so this gradual buildup kind of thing, it has a different look to it. It can look really messy, obviously. It takes, even this I think looks a little messy, but cleaning it up can be a lot of fun. That's the thing. So the pros and cons are, one, the pros are it's fun. It's quick. I would say it's a lot quicker in general. And number two, the other part of it is that it can become a mess. You might not be able to rescue it. So that's what I'm saying. And it is advanced. You have to kind of know already the structure of the eye right off the bat before even trying it out. But those are the three ways I draw an eye, right? No matter what the type over here. You can see all these other cool types. But hopefully that helped you out a little bit. If it did, please hit the thumbs up. If you want more tips, I'm going to be posting, I'm going to try to post every other day or every day. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're amazing. Okay. I want you to leave a comment. I want to know what you want to learn, and I'm going to go over it in a future video. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.